Get your hands on a Subway steak melt. Try the irresistible Big Philly cheesesteak or tender, juicy steak and cheese. And don't miss out on the unforgettable steak, bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast. Subway steak melts. Melty goodness made irresistibly delicious. Subway. Eat fresh. The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S. Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report, a sunny but cold Monday here in Southern California. We have a two-part podcast for you. Part one, our old friend Cousin Sal is going to guess the Week 10 lines with me, talk about Week 9, all that stuff. And then part two, Chris Connolly is going to come on to talk about Magic Johnson and HIV 20 years later. And then Dave Jacoby and I are going to defend The Walking Dead because we are apparently the only two people on the internet who like this show. But part one right now on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. As always, our friend and my co-loser on every bet I ever make, Cousin Sal. What's happening?
Wait a minute. I thought I was supposed to come on and talk about zombies with HIV.
Oh, you...
I
screwed that up. I'm sorry about that. Wow, we made history. This was... Our gambling is so bad that even as we know we're about to lose, it's like we can't... We see the truck coming and we look at each other and we go, should we get out of the way? No, it's going to miss us. It's going to be fine. And then it runs us over. So here's what happened.
Go ahead. Set it up.
So we do a 4-team, 6-point tease, which gives us basically 3-1 odds. You can move the line 6 points for 4 different teams. So we have 3 early game teams, which was Atlanta, New Orleans, and what was the third team?
It wasn't Dallas, right? No, it was...
no. Well, somebody, whatever.
It was San Francisco, right?
Yeah, Atlanta, New Orleans, San Francisco. So we win all those. So now it becomes apparent at about 12:30 West Coast time that we're going to win all 3 of those. All we have left now, Giants-Pats. We have teased the over down to 45. The over itself has risen to 52.5. A natural middle. We could just, all we have to do is bet all the money we would have won on this 14 tees and just bet the under and then try to middle it, and either we lose $0 or we win both bets.
Right. And
it would have been magnificent, and we stare at each other and we go, every time we hedge, let's ride it out. Needless to say, a 3-0 first half between these two teams. And then, just when we were laughing and we're like, wow, we did it again, we screwed up, there's a dramatic flurry of points. And all of a sudden it's 24-20. And if the Giants had scored a little earlier, the Pats could have had a chance to come. I mean, it was crazy, Sal. Or actually,
you end up texting me when New England goes up 20-17. New England goes up at the end. You text me, because I had left. You say 26-20 in overtime would be our greatest win. I said, absolutely. Whatever you do, just don't mention it. And,
right.
Sure enough.
And I already mentioned. Yeah, the Giants, had they come down and kicked the field goal, we would have had a chance to somehow cover that over, even though it was 3-0 at halftime, which really would have been incredible. And then, as it turns out, it comes down basically to the fact that Gostkowski missed the 27-yard field goal. That's what lost our bet, which happens twice a year. Somebody misses a 27-yard field goal. A couple great gambling moments yesterday because the Cardinals, who blocked a field goal to stave off a loss in regulation, then get a punt return TD in overtime to cover. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
The Ravens, if you had the Steelers plus 3.5, and Chad Moment said they were a really popular pick in Vegas yesterday. All the sharps were on them. Looks like Pittsburgh's going to cover by a half point. Joe Flacco, out of nowhere. The much maligned Joe Flacco.
I may have to apologize for a third of the things I said about him. Yeah. He looked good yesterday. And the over hit on that last drive, too. Everyone loves betting the overs in these night games. So. Right.
So, I'm glad you brought up Flacco because we discussed Flacco. Mm-hmm. We discussed him last week, and I mentioned how the Raven fans are a little bit psychotic about him because So I got this email from Will in San Diego. He says, the reason the fans are so defensive is because Baltimore has an inferiority complex. It's just a small city between Philly and D.C. Doesn't get a lot of national love. All the old Colts fans grew up with Unitas, still a hangover 40 years later. And Flacco is ours. The fans want him to succeed so badly it's becoming palpable. He's the most polarizing sports figure in Baltimore in my lifetime. I'm 31. Wow. If you turn on talk radio in Baltimore, the hosts have to literally ask callers to stop calling in to discuss Flacco.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess when you discuss Flacco, it's a little bit of a hot button. So I got some tweets and emails yesterday. Flacco shoved it in your face. It's like, look, he had to do that. We all needed to see him come through in a situation like that, and he did. Are you sold on the Ravens?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was a great game, and I loved watching that game. I'd watch that once a week. Would be fantastic if that could be the Sunday night game every week. But it does seem that these teams a lot of times just get up for each other. I mean, the Ravens are just as much the Ravens when they come out to a 14-point deficit at home against Arizona. This game does something to these teams. Like Terrell Suggs is like, how high he jumps to grab that interception. It's like you're going to jump as high as you can. You're going to be as fast as you can on every single play, and then in the fourth quarter you're going to double that. And it's just it's insane how much these teams hate each other, and it's great. But I don't know what to take of it other than that.
We've been talking all season about how it's becoming more of a passing league, and I think Chargers-Packers 45-38, or even what happened in the second half of Giants-Patriots, seems to be where the league is going. It's nice to see a smash-mouth football game like that, and that was really old school. Guys getting knocked out, two teams that really hated each other. It was fun, and I'm glad that we still can have those games every once.
Absolutely, and if I could stray a little to the college, I got killed. I hate Twitter, I really do, but I got killed by saying I loved that LSU-Alabama game. I loved it. It was hard-hitting. Every time a running back turned the corner, it was smashed in the jaw. It was terrific, and people were like, this is so boring. I said, these are the only two teams in the country that play defense. Just enjoy it. There are 7 defensive backs who are going to be pros next year or the year after. Like, take a look at that. You could see the Kansas State Oak State game, whatever. It's 55-45. Who cares? Watch this one. I love it.
Looking at what happened in the NFL this week, I'm trying not to. We're now at the point we're heading into Week 10. The Thursday night games are starting. This is when we start to really know who's good, who's bad, who's not a fraud, who's a little better than we thought, etc. You and I both like the Bengals. You liked them more than I did yesterday. I liked them. I wasn't sold on them just because I thought if the Titans had any chance to be good at all, they had to come through yesterday and win that game, and everybody was counting them out, and everybody felt like you did, that the Bengals are just better. Like you said yesterday, I just think the Bengals are better. I actually agreed with you, but I thought that the Titans for that game would get up and win it. The Bengals won. They're 6-2 now. They haven't played Pittsburgh or Baltimore yet. Are they a schedule fraud, or do you believe in them?
Well, it's somewhere in between. I think they're starting to get some confidence that they probably shouldn't have had, but by beating on some of these cupcakes, and the Titans shouldn't be one of those cupcakes, but they have trouble scoring, so their opponent will always be in the game. But yeah, you're right. They do play the Ravens and Steelers 4 times, and unfortunately, they play a Steeler team that lost this week, this coming Sunday. But I don't know. You look at Dalton; he doesn't make any mistakes. Their running game is fine. He spreads the ball offensively, and Zimmer's defense steps it up. They're a good team. They could, they'll have. It'll be tough for them not to have 9 wins this year, 9-10 wins.
Yeah. So the easy ones they have left, they're home for Cleveland. Chalk that one up. That's a win. Home for Houston. They won't be favored in that, but that's a pretty winnable game.
Yeah.
At St. Louis, winnable. Home for Arizona, winnable, and then you figure them, but they'll go 1-3 in those Pittsburgh-Baltimore games. So they're probably going to get to 10 wins.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're going to have 3 double-digit win teams in the AFC North. Maybe the second wild card doesn't come from the AFC East.
I saw an awesome interview with Andy Dalton last night because he's really been coming on, and he said, they said, Andy, what's been the key to the season for you? And he said, the key to the season was I heard about this bet Cousin Sal and Simmons made. They bet the Rams to win the NFC West, and then to hedge that bet, They bet the Patriots to win the AFC East with the Chargers to win with the Packers to win the NFC Central, and then Cam Newton to win Rookie of the Year. And when I heard that they had locked in on Cam Newton, I felt like I had to step it up and
I didn't even think about that. Cam Newton can't take these bye weeks. He needs to play every week. This is going to be bad for us.
Listen, Andy Dalton is 6-2.
See, now that's a hedge that we're going to lose, so we can't win everywhere we turn.
I think we have to hedge the hedge. Cam Newton is 2-6, and Andy Dalton is 6-2. I think Cam's in trouble with that bet.
That's great.
AFC might be better than the NFC. That's the other thing I wanted to throw at you.
I think so. Well, I think people want to hear you talk about the Patriots and what's wrong.
I don't want to talk about that.
No?
Yeah, let's just do the lines.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, hold on, though. I just want to quickly look at the standings here. So we legitimately have, we have 4 6-win teams and 3 5-win teams in the AFC East, and that's not counting anyone in the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a chance to have 7 or 8 10-win teams in the AFC. In the NFC, Giants 6 wins, Green Bay 8, Detroit 6, New Orleans 6, Atlanta 5, San Francisco 7. Yeah. So they have 6 teams that have a chance. But
you're not even counting the Cowboys. Wow. All right. That's interesting.
Well, you couldn't have been too delighted with how the Cowboys looked against Seattle yesterday.
Hey, a win is a W, however you want to say it. But no, I wasn't too delighted. But we'll get to them in a second.
I think Joe Meade.
Yes.
I think Buffalo falls out. I'm sorry.
We're out. We're 8-8 now.
Yeah.
That's it,
Hey,
huh?
I mean, you weren't even close in that game yesterday. I don't want to overreact with one game, but that seemed like it seems like there's enough tape now that people have studied to kind of figure out how to throttle that Bills offense. Not good for you.
No, it's not.
We talked about this. Was there too much pressure? They hadn't been home. They hadn't played home in a month. I mean, a Toronto game counts as home, but between Toronto and their road games and their bye, I think it had been like 28 days or something. Could it have been too much?
It wasn't a great day. I mean, it was perfect weather. That's not what you want when you play in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad matchup for you, though, because they just put Revis on Johnson, takes him out. They have Cromartie on Nelson. They're both big guys. Just took him out, and then basically just came down and stopped Fred Jackson. And
Fitzpatrick, I showed you, he had negative .8 fantasy points going into the fourth, maybe into the fourth quarter, middle of fourth quarter or something.
Before that long pass, he had 24 yards. What was it, midway through third quarter? Let's do Week 10 Lions. Hey, some excitement. We have a Thursday game this week.
We have a Thursday game.
Yeah, awesome. Carson Palmer on a Thursday night. I mean, he might over under 3.5 interceptions, I'd say, for him.
On the road. You know, we talked about that. You joked that Oakland, Denver is going to have 1.5 pick sixes, and there weren't, but I found a way to bet it. I put it on Grantland. Over 42.5-yard touchdown is going to be the longest, and it was. No thanks to
you won that.
Yeah, that one. But Oakland at San Diego, Thursday nights for the rest of the year. Here we go.
I look at what happened with the Chargers here. They've lost 3 in a row, but they lost to a Jets team that if the Jets lost that game, their season was over. They lost a fluky game to KC that if Rivers just catches the snap, they win or holds on to the snap. Green Bay is the best team in the league. They lost by 7. It was respectable. I'm not ready to count out this Chargers team yet.
I thought yesterday was their best game. I thought they finally showed some heart in that game.
Yeah.
And
rest of the season, they're at Oakland. Home for Oakland, at Chicago, home for Denver, at Jacksonville, home for Buffalo and Baltimore, at Detroit, at Oakland. So not easy, but it might be 9-7 to win that division.
They should win that division. What do you think?
They should win that division. I got to find what I picked. Hold on. I wrote all these picks down. I have the Chargers by 7.
All right, we split this one. I had 6, and it's 6.5. So it's right there. They really should win. I mean, this Raiders team drives you nuts. I'm pretty sure they're not good, but I'm also not ready to write them off yet. I don't know.
We're teasing the Chargers with somebody. I don't care if we lose.
It's good to get the loss out of the way. Or to have 3 days to think about hedging the second part of the teaser. That's great.
You know, it's funny. In the Super Contest, I went 3-2 this week, but I really love the Raiders this week. I didn't put them in the contest because last year I instituted a rule of I can never have a Carson Palmer team in the Super Contest as one of the picks. And it worked. Thank you, Carson. Thanks for single-handedly scaring me off with your play.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. Next. And now there's 10 early Sunday games. They can't do that to us. There's 3 late afternoons, 10 early Sunday. It was like 6 and 5 yesterday, and we were dizzy looking at all the screens. That is a bad job.
And then you could only stay for the early games, which were horrible.
Yeah.
You left. Late games, all 5 of them were good. Went right down to the wire. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible job by the NFL. 10-3 is not how you do it, Billy.
I gotta see more late games.
And these the night games go too late. I understand ratings, but don't start them at 8:30 at night. The kids are going to bed at 4:15 in the afternoon.
How late was that daylight savings day yesterday?
Yeah, I know.
I think my son woke up for Sunday on daylight savings on Friday. He was been up for 8 hours by the time we'd woke up.
Yeah, I know it helps the farmers or some crap, but waiting an extra hour for football is not ideal. I'll tell you that.
You know, the other thing about this Week 10, we're going to go through the lines now, but we had this stretch where there was a lot of bad teams against good teams, bad teams against good teams. Mm-hmm. This week, all the good teams are playing each other, and all the bad teams are playing each other. So
let me tell you, I had a miserable time trying to figure out the lines this week. You're going to win, and I didn't even know who was favored in a half a dozen of these games. So
well, I have a little secret for you, Cousin Sal.
Yeah,
I'm back.
I think you
Remember
are.
I said I didn't have my grip anymore? I found it. I went back to the drawing board last week. I busted my butt. I studied. I tried to figure out each team in my head, and I think I have a grasp again.
All right. Well, you probably didn't have to study this week to beat me because I'm way off. Not necessarily in this game too much. Buffalo at Dallas. Here we go.
I have your Cowboys favored by 4 points.
Oh, you need to study a little more. I said 5, and it's 6.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't agree with that line. I think it's wrong.
I see that. Joe Mead, should we wager something? What do we need to do here?
Yeah, wager.
Let's do it, Sal.
All right. I'll do whatever, and I just want you to sing a show tune on the podcast next week.
Oh, all right. So loser sings a show tune next week.
I get the points.
You get the point. Joe gets the 6 points.
Points. No.
I want 7.5.
Oh, come on. No, we're playing for wins here.
Joe gets the 6 points.
No, you could sing a shorter song, and I'll sing a longer song or something like that. I don't want to care about points.
All right.
I mean, I'll sing American Pie, and you could sing Happy Birthday, whatever.
All right. How about, as part of the spread, either of you has to sing a show tune, but then also you have to divulge an embarrassing story about your cousin, Jimmy Kimmel.
All right, that's fine. Joe, do you have a famous cousin?
Not quite as famous as Jimmy.
No.
Who was Lake Mead named after? No one you know?
No.
All right. All right, so that's we'll go on to. All right, I'm looking forward to this game now.
Yeah.
New Orleans at Atlanta.
Good game. That is a big game. That is a big NFC
That is
game.
A great job by you recognizing a big game like this.
It's a big game. I'm not totally sold on this Falcons team, but I do think they can throw the ball a little, and I do think they'll be fired up, and I do think they're going to be slightly favored. I have Falcons by 1.5.
That is exactly what I had, and it's the Saints by 1.5. And I disagree with that line. And Saints looked good yesterday, but they're garbage on the road, aren't they?
I'm going to throw this out. I'm not sure the Saints are that good.
No.
They remind me of the Pats in a lot of ways. They can throw the ball. They're good against certain teams, but I think they're flawed.
That division's as up for grabs as any, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. We crossed the Bucs off, though.
All right. So we split that one. Oh, yep. Speaking of your Bucs, Houston at Tampa Bay.
Houston might be good.
Well, they're another one. They two lousy teams in a row, and now they're on the road. Guess the line, and then I'll tell you. I was off 5 points in this.
Really? I bet I had Texans by 4 at Tampa.
Yeah, you're way closer. I had Tampa by 2, and it's Texans. No. It's Texans by 3. So you get that.
That goes to 4 by game time.
This is my lock. I love Tampa Bay here.
You know, for Grantland's Robert Mays, a.k.a. the Baby Bear, his birthday in Vegas, late August, I got him a Texans Super Bowl ticket, 30-1 odds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He could make some cash. The Texans are in this. I mean, they're going to be a 3 seed. Right?
I'm glad you're taking money. You're making money for everybody else here. And we're playing 14 seasons that we can't even have.
I'm like Robin Hood. I still give the money to others, and then I don't keep any for myself.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but they're a 3 seed, right? They may be a 2 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They're going to rack up 12 wins in that terrible division.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you, as long as we're on the Bucks, you called me yesterday. You did it again. And your boyfriend's Josh Freeman, and you had a bad day in general. But here's a voicemail you left me. Hold on.
Okay.
Cousin Sal, sports guy here. On my way to clear my head of the last 6 dismal stink bomb hours, heading to the YMCA. It's fun to stay there. You could get yourself clean. You could have a good meal. You could do whatever you feel, young man. What a disastrous day when my boyhood hero and idol Tom Brady blew it against the Giants. My boyfriend and soulmate, Joshy Washy, Twinkle Toes, Pudding Pop, Limoncello, Pikachu Pants, Butterscotch, Buttocks Freeman got beat up by the Saints. You know who the two of them reminded me of? Eddie Murphy. Everyone reminds me of Eddie Murphy. Tom Brady was like Eddie in Trading Places. Started off homeless with no legs, used and abused by 2 old men. Only he'll get the last laugh when the orange crop thrives. And Joshy Washy was like Eddie when he got shot in SNL as Buckwheat. And teammates left him for dead as the studio audience laughed. Now I can go on and on about Eddie Murphy. I got 250,000 spare words I forgot to use in my column, but I want to fill up your answer machine. In fact, I'm going to let you go now. I'm heading to the sauna, trying to collect myself. Just dropped my towel right beside me. It's nice to relax. Sitting here like a bare-naked lady alone with my thoughts.
We're currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yeah, that's getting cut out. It was really funny, though.
What do you mean
I
it's
think
getting
you just
cut out?
gave Joe Mead a stroke.
Cut out.
I think you just gave Joe Mead a stroke.
Come on, who cares?
Yeah, we're going to be taking that part out.
Leave that in, Joe. You could bleep one word or something, whatever.
Oh, no, Joe's still recovering from his stroke.
I'm here now.
I think we should cut out that part, but leave in this whole conversation after.
Oh, for sure.
People can guess for the rest of their lives what happened at the end of that phone call.
Loud,
I'm so
Joe.
ashamed.
Joe, it's news. It's on the news. Come on.
Oh, man.
Joe, I just feel like karma. If you cut that out, the Bills are going to lose by 30, so keep that in mind.
Okay, I'll think about it.
All right.
Let's keep going.
All right, Arizona at Philly, there's no line. And I think it's because of Skelton more than Philly playing tonight. The guy was all right. He played better in the second half, I thought.
I was going to go Eagles by 13 unless they lose for some reason today.
Yeah, I would have gone 12.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. That was some game. If I'm like Wisenhunt, I tell Patrick Peterson I thank him for fielding the punt at the 1 and then bench him for the next game. That's a good win, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah, that was that probably knocked them out of the luck sweepstakes, unfortunately, for Cardinals fans.
Speaking of the luck sweepstakes, Washington at Miami. You think Miami's knocked out of there too?
I just feel like the Colts are going to go in 16. They'd be foolish not to, but the Dolphins. The Dolphins might actually be decent though. They played pretty well the past few weeks.
They do try.
Yeah,
they try. They're a good first half bet, that's for sure. And then
I'm gonna tell you this, Cousin Sal. I think they win this week too, and I think they're favored. I have Dolphins by 3.
I said 2.5. You're going to get this because it's 4. It's even higher. So now you're up 4-3 on me. And
I will say that we saw a lot of bad quarterbacks last week, but John Beck, I think, took the cake.
Well, hold on one second, though. John Beck coming back to play his old team. I mean, this could be an instant classic. You know he's out for blood.
Didn't think of that one. Yeah.
That's big. But what's the next one? Tennessee or Carolina?
I think Tennessee's a write-off. You know, they've never been the same since that Kenny Britt thing. That just killed them. He was their game breaker. And, you know, they're just not. And Chris Johnson's not a game breaker anymore, so not a lot left for them.
That's the thing. I mean, it's a miracle when he runs for a first down. What is it with this guy?
Seemed like he had a little zip yesterday, but it didn't really ultimately matter.
Is he holding the cash in his thigh pads that he signed for? Like, he seems so weighted down. Stupid.
I really wanted to make the Panthers 3-point favorites here, but instead I made them 2.5-point favorites.
All right, you were a lot closer than I was. I said Tennessee by 1. I just looked at 4-4 versus 2-6, but it's Carolina by 3. You were right originally.
Damn, should have stuck with my guns.
All right. Now Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
It's a tough one because you see the Bengals are home, and you want to give them the benefit of the doubt of being at home. But unfortunately for them, there's going to be about 25,000 Steelers fans at this game.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I don't know if Vegas considered that, but, you know, you saw what happened with the Chargers-Packers game last week. There's 25,000 Packer fans there. The Chargers had to use a silent count in the second half at a home game. I have the Steelers favored by 3 points out of respect to the Bengals.
Man. I had 3 also. I thought I could gain on you here. It is exactly 3.
Yeah, it's a fair line.
I feel much better about Cincinnati pulling off the upset with Andy Dalton at the quarterback than I would Cincinnati with Carson Palmer ever in however many years. Yeah.
It's a great point.
It's a good game.
He's playing better for them in quarterback than anyone they've had since 2006.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
St. Louis at Cleveland.
This is an awful game.
This is pretty bad, and I think people should know Peyton Hillis is day-to-day.
He really sounds like a cancer.
Ridiculous team.
Peyton Hillis.
This is how I lost my suicide pool with Cleveland first week against Cincinnati. How stupid is that, looking back?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I had the Browns by 2.5. I don't think they're good enough to be favored by.
Wow, good job, Billy. You're running away with this. I said 3.5. It's exactly 2.5.
Yeah. Rams aren't bad. Rams have played well now 2 straight weeks. I mean, they're not atrocious. I think the Browns might potentially be atrocious.
It's bizarre because you can't make Cleveland more than a 3-point favorite at home against anyone ever, and you can't make the Rams less than more than 3, whatever, on the road. So
right. Well, now when you look at all the bad teams, you got to look at like, all right, what do they do well? What do they, bad teams do 1 or 2 things well. It seems like at least with the Rams, they can rush the passer, and Steven Jackson's healthy, and he can run for 100 yards now. So it's not like they're hopeless.
Mm-hmm. Jacksonville at Indy. There we go. You would think they had a chance there, Indy.
The Jags are going to be favored, and I really wanted to have them favored by 3.5 here, but Gabbert's been so bad. I have Jags by 3.
Wow. You've hit 3 in a row exactly. I had 3.5, and it's 3.
How'd my feel back, so?
I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, if the Colts ever are going to win a game, this would be the one. Because
well, I was thinking that too, and then I'm thinking, imagine having 2 weeks to prepare for the Colts. What do you, if you're Jacksonville? Like, what did? Yeah, we did ecstasy and hit the all-you-can-eat buffets for like 12 of the 14 days. We should be fine.
Yeah, it's tough.
Denver at Kansas City.
Tebow, 2-1 as a starter.
Unbelievable.
The one was a loud one.
Everyone else is 4-4, right?
They're in the AFC West. It's amazing.
I'll learn Mandarin before I learn how to bet the AFC West. Honestly, I'm staying away.
I'm licking my wounds. I had a good week last week, and I had the Chiefs. Not only did I pick them, but I took them in the Super Contest just because of Matt Moore and Arrowhead. I thought Arrowhead would just single-handedly beat Matt Moore, and instead he had an awesome game. And the Chiefs looked really bad, and now you look at like what happened with that Chargers game, how they never should have won that one, and they get killed by the Dolphins. This is a losable game for them. I have them favored by 3.5.
All right, you're going to get it. I went high. I said 5, and it's only 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's a demolished. So those are the early game. What's the best early game? Buffalo, Dallas,
Good
New Orleans,
ones.
Atlanta.
Nah, I like Saints Falcons. And actually, Steelers. I'd go Steelers Bengals once.
They can't do this to us. I mean, really, you get dizzy watching all these games. 10, and then 3 in the afternoon.
Steelers Bengals, Saints Falcons, and then I have Cowboys Bills third.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right. All right. Well, Houston, Tampa, I like too. That's going to be better than you think. Baltimore at Seattle. Watch the Ravens play like garbage now.
I was going to say, this is a total I mean, we talk about the upset of the week. This is a classic upset of the week.
Yeah.
I have Ravens by 8.
No, it's less than that. It's 7. I had 8.5, so you're going to get that one too. But it's only 7.
Yeah, that goes up, though. That's not going to end at 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, it might go up, but should we jump on a Baltimore-San Diego teaser here? Just 2, not 3 teams.
I'm not going against Seattle and Seattle. The weird stuff happens with them there.
Oh,
although you might be right. Cincy went in there and beat them.
One thing I'm done with betting against the West Coast team going east or vice versa. I mean, the skins suck no matter how sleep deprived their opponents are.
It's true.
I've lost a lot of money on that theory.
The one thing I will say, the Ravens have been trying for years and years and years to improve that receiver core. And the Bolden-Torrey Smith combo, those guys do get open.
Yeah.
That's a different
push off
team.
a little bit. And if they don't get open, there's a flag thrown. So
Torrey Smith, they needed a touchdown or they were going to lose the game. And he got open twice for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dropped one of them, and then the one that he dropped, they didn't point out that it was definitely interference. Like he beat the guy, and the guy grabbed him and knocked him off.
Right, he did. He slowed him down a little bit. Yeah, that's how they've closed the gap, I think, on the Steelers, and maybe even better now. I mean, they've matched the Mike Wallace pickup,
Yeah.
Torrey Smith.
And the thing with the Ravens, I think, is you look at these other teams and you could point to like 4 different things that determine their fate. With the Ravens, it really is just Flacco. I mean, if he plays above a certain level, that team is as good as any other team except the Packers.
Yeah. All right, Detroit at Chicago.
Nice game.
This is good. At least there's a couple of good late afternoons.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, it's tough because is there a line on this? Because we don't know what.
Yeah, there is a line. Remember, they played Monday night like a month ago, maybe a little more, and Detroit beat them pretty solidly. Actually, Chicago was driving a cover, right? Weren't they at like the 40-yard line? Yeah.
I really wanted to have the Bears favorite here, but I think it's going to be the Lions by 1.5.
I think I might get this one. Yeah, I do. All right, I said a pick. I never go pick in any of these, and it's Chicago by 1.
That was what I originally had, and I just changed my mind.
We'll see after tonight, but I like Chicago in this game.
Tonight you like them or next week?
No, I like them both, actually. I think they run the ball a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, that line was a little high. I don't think we know what to make of the Eagles yet, and they're getting the respect of a team that is really good. The only thing is I could see them sacking Cutler like 19 times tonight.
Yeah. Well, you can run on them. It's the only thing I don't know. Well, let's see. Giants at San Francisco.
Oh. Really? This is on a platter for the Giants to lose 34-10, right?
I can't believe you screwed us so bad. I was so mad at that Patriot loss, more angrier than when Cowboys lost to the Eagles. I have it all mapped out how the Giants are going to be 7-5 going into Week 12, and so are the Cowboys. And you guys blew it. Thanks for nothing.
Do you feel like we blew it? I thought we got outplayed. It was a legitimate loss.
Well, you don't expect to be outcoached. Like, I know you don't want to talk about this, but why are they rushing a play before the 2-minute warning? They're at the 38-yard line. They had 1 or 2 timeouts. I think they had 2 timeouts. Why rushing? Your secondary is as bad as it is. Why do you want to give Eli Manning the ball back with any time?
That would have been a really lucky win because down 10-0, and Eli is going down to finish the job. They're going to delay a game, and then he throws an interception off his back foot. The game should have been over on that series. And then we get a 4th and 8. to basically what it seemed like to win the game. But 4th and 8 inside, 4th and 8 inside the 10 or whatever. That's a pretty tough play to pull off.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were doing not covering Gronkowski, because he's either going to Gronkowski or Welker in that situation. You just triple team both of those guys.
Thank God you guys have those tight ends, but
I did think I thought the Giants were better. I thought Dallas played as well or better than the Patriots in that other game too. I'm really not sure the Patriots are good.
Well,
it's sad, but
doesn't it bum you out the Giants needed like 2 big pass interference calls at the end? Like they were just as lucky to win that game, I thought. I have such a bias against these NFC East teams now.
I know, but the second pass interference came because Sergio Brown was in the game. Because Patrick Chung was hurt, because we have no depth whatsoever with defensive backs. And if you're playing Sergio Brown on the key defensive series of the game, what do you expect? He's terrible.
I wrote about this in my Grantland blog. Why not make Ocho Cinco a D-back at this point? I mean, every time you throw to him, it's something disastrous could happen, or nothing happens. Like it's just negative, and I'm sure the other players get mad. Make him a D-back. If he does one good thing, it's he knocks balls down, and he seems to be as fast as everyone else. You're paying him all this money, throw him back there. You won a Super Bowl with a wide receiver at D-back.
We have He might be the worst Patriot we've ever had. I tweeted this yesterday. I can't remember any Patriot being just consistently worse. Every pass they throw to him, it's not like he drops it or anything. Like the pass is 4 to 5 feet away from him.
Yeah, like the ball runs from him.
Sal, here were 5 of the guys playing for us in crunch time yesterday on defense. Tracy White, Sergio Brown, Hidabigo, whatever you pronounce his name, Guyton, and Rob Ninkovich. So 5 of our 11 guys on that last drive. I mean, we've botched so many drafts at this point that there's just nobody left. I mean, they had 2 first-round picks, I think 2 seconds and a third or whatever it was last year, and they traded out of the first round, and we ended up taking 2 running backs and an injury-prone quarterback who is now on the IR. And neither of the running backs play. We got a 0 for the second round.
Yeah. And they're booing Brady. They're booing Brady, and Belichick is making bad calls, too, on top of the drafting and everything else.
Why didn't we take Torrey Smith?
Yeah.
Really? We couldn't use Torrey Smith? Tall guy who can run down the field and is a good guy? I don't understand why we're not getting guys like that.
He's only a second rounder. Yeah, well, I think Ocho's supposed to be your deep threat. I guess just send him deep every play. I don't know.
And then in classic Belichick fashion, he takes Ryan Mallett in the 3rd round, and that throws everybody off the scent of what a weird draft it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's like, Ryan Mallett, that's an interesting pick, and then that becomes the conversation the next day. And I like Nate Solder, but they didn't really totally need a right tackle. We needed a pass rush, and we needed D-backs, and we needed a wide receiver who could stretch the field. They didn't get anything out of that draft.
It's so funny because I watched the first half with you, or a little bit of that game, and I watched with a Giant fan was there too, and anytime either of your teams ran the ball, you guys were furious.
I know.
But wouldn't it be nice if you had a good running back? Wouldn't it open things up?
Well, we drafted 2 of them. They passed Ingram, and Ingram hasn't been any great shakes either. But I don't know.
Ridley?
Almost,
yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
We drafted Ridley, and we drafted Shane Vereen, who I don't even know what he's doing. And then you see Dallas, just this DeMarco Murray comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's almost like, why even spend any draft pick on a running back?
Yeah.
They're just sitting around everywhere.
There's always a 3rd round that'll jump up the charts. Yeah.
I can't talk about it. Let's finish this.
Giants at San Fran. Back to this game.
Oh yeah, I have the Niners by 3, and I love the Niners.
I said 3 also, and it's 3.5. I don't know. I can't keep picking against the Niners. It's killing me.
Eli was really good in that game yesterday.
I guess. I just hate these pass interference. You just know what's coming here with these.
Eli can turn it on at the end of the game and become clutch. And for whatever reason, he just has that horseshoe that lives inside his butt, where he has these terrible throws off his back foot that most of the time just don't get caught.
Yeah. Well, you picked one of them.
Picked one of them. Really could have picked 4 of them in that game. And he just, for whatever reason, the passes just hit the ground.
All right, here are the night games. Oh, we get to talk about the Patriots. Patriots at Jets. I'm doing this game. I'm calling this game, so I can't pick it. I love when they say that. I'm announcing it home from my bathroom, so you have to pick this one alone.
You know, I think the Jets should be favored by 3, but the Patriots get that weird spread respect, and I have the Jets by 1.5 for this.
All right. I said Patriots by 1.5. I should have thought about this one. And you're going to get it. It's the Jets by 1.
Yeah. It should be the Jets by 3. They should be 3-point favorites in this game. They're playing better, and we already beat them. I don't know. I just think that line goes to 3.
I'll tell you, I like that you have to sweat these games out now. You never had to sweat games out. I had to sweat out like 15 in a row.
What are you talking about?
You have to watch to the very end of these Patriot games.
No, the era is over. I mean, it's not even like panicking to say that. They've had so many bad drafts. There's just the defense they have at this point is just not a championship defense.
They'll be there. If they could stay away from the Ravens somehow in the playoffs, they'll go far in January.
I'll tell you another thing. I love the guy, but Tom Brady was not good in that game yesterday. He had 10 terrible throws in that game, and he had guys that were open that he was missing, and he made decisions that were bad. I didn't think he played well. That was a game that the Patriots should have scored 30 points.
Yeah. What happened to that? They had scored 30 forever, and then I think the last 3 they've been under the total.
They had guys open in that game.
Well, listen though. Honestly speaking, though, here when you go to the playoffs, you still beat up on the Jets. You still beat up on the Steelers. It's the Ravens you have to stay away from. You're not going to play the Giants in the AFC playoffs.
I don't.
Who else goes in there? San Diego? No.
I'm just getting sad.
You'll be fine. Monday night, Minnesota at Green Bay.
Packers by 11.5.
Oh, wow. I win the last one, which means I win the week. No. I said 15, and it's 14.
Really? That's too high.
Well,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. The Vikings can score.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points. I think that goes down.
Aaron Rodgers is Tom Brady from 5 years ago. I mean,
he's out of his mind.
Are ridiculous.
I don't even. Brady in 2007 was incredible, but the thing that Rodgers can do is take off twice a game for like a 20-yard run. Brady could never do that. Everything else is the same. Total command.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're too good. They're too good.
Cousin Sal, anything to plug?
Yeah, we have Herman Cain on tonight. Jimmy Kimmel Live. Herman Cain, everybody.
Beautiful.
And then we got all the Twilight people. Taylor Lautner, Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart later in the week, Mickey Rourke. And that'll be fun. Grantland, I was a big winner this week. I said New Orleans in the first half and a touchdown longer than 43 yards in the Denver-Oakland game. And tonight I'm going Bears over 19.5 points as my prop, my Monday night prop.
Exciting. Good job by you, Sal.
Good job, Billy. Talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Target to sign off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at PodCenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
You laughed, you cried, you cranked up the volume to your neighbors call the cops, and now it's all over. But Bill will be back another day with another dose of the good stuff. Until then, get some more good stuff at Subway restaurants, like the Mega Meaty Big Philly Cheesesteak, or try one of the other tender, juicy Subway steak melts, like the mouth-watering steak and cheese, or the Melt-delicious steak, bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast. So head to Subway today and treat your taste buds to some fresh toasted flavor. Subway, eat fresh.